I'm also the Aboriginal Sales Manager at the Edmonton Marriott at River Cree Resort on the Enoch Cree Nation here in the west part of the city. I'd like to thank the Dreamcatcher Conference organizers as well to have us here. And we are also here because of AWPA, which is the Aboriginal Women's Professional Association. The AWPA exists to support Aboriginal women on their path towards success. Using the medicine wheel teachings, we achieve our goals by providing support and service that focuses on wellness, healthy relationships, leadership, employment, and mentoring. Our vision is to see all Aboriginal women trained, employed, and self-sustaining. So if you haven't been to an Ask Your Auntie show, what it is we have three, usually four, but today we have three aunties in front of you. And what they do is they answer any questions that you may have. So today's theme is dream, learn, and achieve, but it can be any other questions you may have, whether it be about culture, relationships, anything, cooking, recipes, how to train your dog, anything like that. Any questions? So I'd like to introduce the aunties that we have here on our panel. So first we have Sharon Warren, here to my right. Sharon is the lead programmer at the Musée Heritage Museum, and she's also the founding member of one of the founding members of the Michif Cultural and Resource Institute in St. Albert. She also attended the prestigious Life University of U of T, University of Thelma. Her education comes from her upbringing and teachings of her mother, the retired Senator Honorable Dr. Thelma Shalafu. She is also the mother of 4 sons and is a proud new grandmother. Next, we have Darlene Marchuk. Darlene is Korean-Polish ancestry. Her grandmother is from the Sturgeon Band. But her grandmother lost status because she was married outside of her culture. Therefore, she was raised without knowing her culture. She has also been sober for 7 years, which I think deserves a round of applause. 5 years ago, she returned to her studies after being away from the classroom for 26 years. She received her degree in social work, and through her education, she also refound her culture through Native studies. Her degree also brought her to Australia, where she just came back earlier on this year, I believe, in June, for her final placement. She is currently applying for her master's degree, and is the mother of 3 and grandmother of 1, and she is blessed and honored to be walking on the red road. Next, we have Kathleen Sado. Sado, perfect. She's Anishinaabe from the Bear Clan, from Lac des Mille Lacs First Nation from northwestern Ontario. She's a graduate from U of A and also Grant MacEwan, and she sits on many boards. The AWPA is one, and the Aboriginal Human Resource Council, the Young Indigenous Professional Board, to name a few. The list goes on and on. She's very busy. She is also the mother of 2 young men and has traditionally adopted 1 amazing young man as well. So I'd like to start off our panel by asking our panel about if they had any comments on the topic, dream, learn, and achieve. I know you have to dream for a goal, learn how to get to your goal, to your dream, and also achieve it. That's how you would achieve it. So it's the progression on how to get to achieving your goal.
So for me, being raised by a single woman, there was always, we had to have faith. And so she always said that if you wanted something, you had to put it out there, you had to pray about it. So I always start by prayer. Prayer is always my first, and I put it out to the Creator and to the universe. And usually when I do that, then the progression starts and it kind of falls into place. And I've been really lucky that way. So I always pray first, put it to the Creator, put it out to the universe, and then watch how it unfolds in front of me.
For me,
dreams, in my youth, I had a lot of dreams. I was going to be somebody, I was going to do something, and I was going to go places with my life. I had my first child really young, and I was a bartender, bar manager most of my life, and I fell into that lifestyle. That's why when she introduced me as being sober for 7 years, I was on my deathbed 7 years ago from the alcoholism. But something kept me hanging in there, and the Creator spared me with purpose and reason. And I am now pursuing the dream that I had when I was younger. So what I have shown to myself, I always thought I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't, ever really going to amount to anything. And each drink I took that away from me. So walking the red road today, I do as Sharon does. I pray, I ask for guidance. And I felt a very, very strong need to give back. And now that I'm connected to my heritage and my culture, I have been given a lot of gifts through that, the gift of the smudge and the sweat, and a different kind of a connection than I was raised with. And so my dreams today is turn it over, pray about it, take the time to sit and listen for the answer, not just go ahead and make up my own answer, because usually I'll hit a brick wall if I do that. So here I am. I'll be convocating in November, actually, with my degree in social work, and I've got all the requirements in. But I'll be 49 years old. It just shows me, and it shows my children, that it's never too late to give up on your dreams. So always follow your dreams is my suggestion. Definitely follow your dreams, and to make it become a reality, it takes work. But the end result, like for me, what a reward to go to Australia. To be able now to give back within community is something that's amazing. And yeah, so I'm glad I never did give up on the dream of continuing school.
Good afternoon. I think when it comes to dreams, education had always been a dream of mine. I grew up in the child welfare system in Ontario, a lot of it, and I didn't ever see any educated Aboriginal people that was born to me. I didn't think it was achievable. I didn't think there was any. So it actually wasn't until I moved to Alberta where I actually began to actually see people brown like me, brownish I guess, like me.
Rental beige, I like to say.
Yeah.
Rental beige.
In leadership positions. I had never seen someone who had a degree who was Aboriginal until I moved to Alberta. And actually AWPA was one of the first contacts I had. I just Googled and kind of looked because I didn't know where to go moving to Edmonton, a bigger city, and AWPA came up. And that was the first point of contact I had in a city as an Aboriginal person, trying to reach out and find things. I believe now, if you dream it, you can achieve it. It doesn't matter what you do or want, it's achievable. And the one thing, I had a professor tell me, well, there was two things. He always said, fake it till you make it, because sometimes it was hard balancing children, school, work, everything else. And he said, just fake it. Write something down, I don't care what it is, but keep going, don't give up. And he also said, nothing is impossible. And the word impossible actually has, I am possible in it. So those were two things that stuck with me throughout my studies.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And my dream is trying to go to Costco without emptying my bank account. Every time I go in there, I buy things I don't need, like a shredder, even though I have two in my house already. Yeah, that's hard. But no, to be quite honest though, achieving your dream, yes, education definitely is the key. But for me, in my own life, it was dreaming to get to the top of my industry. I'm in the hospitality industry. And in a hotel, it's usually, well, it's the GM. I'm still dreaming about being a GM, but as being a sales manager. So I started off at the very, very bottom. Years ago, I was a housekeeper at a hotel, moved up to be the in-room reservations person, then sales coordinator, then senior sales coordinator, and now Aboriginal sales manager, which I'm the only one that I know of in Canada. So it's very big, and also with the big brand that I work for. So that, for me, was my dream. And of course, there's days when you just want to quit, where everything's on your plate, you make mistakes, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Maybe I should go back to school or do something else, but just persevere. Everyone has those days where you feel stupid, basically. You're like, I can't do this anymore. No one, everyone thinks I'm doing a horrible mess here. But then next day, all of a sudden, oh, you're doing this good job, great job, you're awesome. You're like, why did I feel so bad that day when today I'm number one, I'm a superstar? So just hang in there, and you will achieve your dreams and your goals. So those who just entered the room, this is the Ask Your Auntie show, and what it is, you can ask any questions that you may have on your mind. Education, fashion, relationships, anything at all. So we'll pass by and I'll give you a paper and you can just jot those down. So the first question that we have is, how do you stay organized during classes and exams?
Good question. I haven't figured it out. No, I'm kidding. Time management. I found time management was very essential for me to keep everything together. There's times where once a semester I wanted to quit. It wasn't like me. I'd get worried if it was getting towards the end of the semester and I didn't want to quit yet. But just staying organized, staying focused. I had to make me time every day. To stay balanced in all realms of my life, in the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, everything I had to keep in total balance. And there's times where I didn't feel like it was balanced at all. It felt like I was going off the deep end. But just keep breathing, keep doing. Don't let anybody touch my piles of papers, because I know where everything is. I took 7 courses in one semester. If you're in university, I highly recommend you don't do that. That's crazy making stuff. But so, I got piles all over the place, and, I wrote down right in front of me so I could see, this exam's on this date, this essay's due on this date, this is due on this date. And I prioritized my school came before my social life. That's how badly I wanted this education. So stay organized, stay balanced, and stay in the moment. Don't live what you might have buggered up yesterday on that exam, and don't live for next week's exam. Live for today and today's exam. What do I have to do to prepare me is what I would do for myself. Work most of the time. That's what I have to say on that.
Did you have any comments?
I think what you said is exactly right, the time management. And for me, I'm really bad when it comes to school, putting things on to the last minute. I'm really bad with that. So I was always, I'll stop procrastinating tomorrow kind of person. And what I found, I still got things done. I put a lot of undue pressure on myself, but I got things done. And if I didn't, I had to face the consequences of that. And I had to redo two courses because I was late handing in assignments, or didn't get something completed, or didn't put my best effort in it. And some people gave me a hard time about that, but I learned a great deal. I wasn't going to make the same mistakes again. And I did it over, and I did it right the second time. So I guess recognizing it's okay to fail, I suppose. Just pick yourself up and go back and do it again.
Thank you. And the next question is one that is around in the news very frequently, especially after what happened to Amanda Todd recently, the little girl who got bullied and unfortunately committed suicide over it. Would you confront a bully? And if so, what would you say?
No, for sure. I guess I was bullied, in elementary school and going into junior high. Not only by the students, but by, once I got into high school, by a couple of the teachers. And I let that bullying from the teachers affect my schoolwork, and I dropped out.